this is definitely a different experience. And I just, first, my name is Mapp. I'm the founder of Outdoor Afro. And I just want to thank the Georgia River Network for putting together this fantastic event. I wish I was there, but I have to say that this is probably the most green presentation I've ever done. It didn't require that I get on a plane, and I actually am going to be home for dinner with my family tonight. So thank you so much for putting this together. I also want to acknowledge Google for making this event happen. Google in San Francisco, where I'm located right now, and Galina, who just left the room, for getting the technology out. Thank you so much for all the moving parts that were required to bring this together. I also want to invite technology in the room, and in addition to welcoming each and every one of you. So pull out your phones if you don't have it, in hand. Go ahead and feel free to follow Outdoor Afro on Twitter or on Facebook, and send us questions or provide some feedback on the event as it's happening tonight. Also, the Georgia River Network has their feed. They have their Twitter and their Facebook as well. So please feel free to tag and tweet, because it's important that we invite people into the conversation who aren't able to be there in person. I'm not sure if we've made the announcement of the winner of our video contest. Has that happened already?
No.
It has not. No.
Well, I just want to acknowledge the winner of the video contest that we put together. We invited for people this summer to share with us their river fun, because a lot of the work of Outdoor Afro, and I'll talk a little bit more about what Outdoor Afro is about helping to shift the visual representation of who gets outdoors. And we wanted to share positive representation of people connecting to nature. And so the winner of our video contest is a gentleman by the name of Miles Maxey, and he is from the Michigan area, and put together a fantastic video that shows folks rafting and having a fantastic time on the river. And we want to invite people beyond the scope of this contest to continue to share their images of fun and restoration, both of the land and of individuals in nature and on the water. So congratulations to you, Miles Maxey. And I want to thank Keen Shoes for providing the prize. Miles gets to select whatever pair of shoes he wants from Keen. So thank you, Keen Shoes, for your sponsorship of this event. I also want to acknowledge the many other partners in the room who I have relationships with, that also are the reason why I have a relationship now with the Georgia River Network. Is Keeping It Wild in the house? Woo! I know that you all had a table there. I also know that Wawa may be there, and the Youth Foundation, very key and important organizations among many, many others in the Atlanta area that I've specifically worked closely with over the last few years. And I also want to acknowledge Reginald Mitchell. If you could raise your hand if you're wearing your Outdoor Afro t-shirt that I sent you. Reginald has been very successful at leading events, people connecting to nature just left and right because of this man. He's a part of our Outdoor Afro leadership team, and please connect in with him. He is in charge of that region of Outdoor Afros, and he puts together some really fantastic events. And if I understand correctly, his video of some river fun has been playing along in the background with you all. So let me just spend a little time talking about what Outdoor Afro is. There's a lot of folks who know what Outdoor Afro is, but for those of you who don't, I'll just bring you up to speed. We were founded in 2009 as a social media community, and social media was just kind of getting off the ground. Back then I did a talk at an event that many of you may have heard of called Breaking the Color Barrier in the Great American Outdoors with Frank and Audrey Peterman, bringing together so many people from around the country to talk about more connections to nature for everyone. And I'll never forget standing in that room and hearing that, you know, probably 25% of the people in that room in 2009 had a Facebook account. Probably a fraction of that number checked their Facebook accounts every day. I think we all know that things have changed quite a bit, but at the time, I just want to, you know, thank them for letting me have this conversation to talk about how we could use technology to connect with more people in a highly relevant way. And so Outdoor Afro just began as a conversation about myself and about all the things that I cared about and loved in nature, my family history. And very shortly after founding it, people said, me too, I love nature too. And people from all over the country started sending their photos and sharing their blogs and their stories. And quickly it became the medium for people to use for both the believer and the non-believer. People were getting inspired by seeing other people to validate their outdoor passions and interests. And then there were people, you know, who just wanted to continue to build on their outdoor relationships. So it's really been fantastic to see how the community has grown to the thousands using Facebook and Twitter and our blog. And we've also launched the Outdoor Afro Leadership Team, of which Reginald is a part. And that group is tasked to do a few simple things, but mainly to get people outdoors where they live. And I'm very proud to say that we've got regional leaders all over the country, and in 2013 are looking to expand that leadership team. And I want to thank REI and Keen Shoes and now Cliff Bar for being part of our support to make that happen. So the other thing that I think is important to talk about is how did the Georgia River Network and Outdoor Afro come together? How did we find out that we had some work to do, and how did we develop that work? Coming to Atlanta in 2012, the beginning of 2012 in January, I had the chance to do a talk at Keeping It Wild. And we were talking about participation in the outdoors. And I'll never forget, one woman raises her hand. She's like, you know, I just don't see enough African Americans getting into the water and participating in water activities. What's up with that? And it was, for me, a wonderful opportunity for us to have some honest dialogue about what are some of the barriers, what are some of the opportunities. And I was so happy that we had a forum where everyone felt comfortable having that question asked and answered. And that person was Gwyneth, you know, who's been working very closely with me as we decided that there was more that we could do to explore. So after 4 blogs, a survey, and a video contest, here we are. We put together some blogs to kind of step back and ask the question, you know, what kind of relationships have African Americans had with nature? And what are some of the challenges that get in the way? We started off with the hair question, you know, is it hair that's keeping people out? Knowing that African American or black hair can sometimes, you know, react in a way to water where it's just, you know, you just kind of lose your do, and you will end up with a fro, and maybe not with a fro you want. And that's a lot of work and a lot of hassle. So for some people, you know, not getting and jumping into the water that's a factor. But we weren't satisfied with that assumption. And so what we did was we put together a survey. And we asked people to tell us what they cared about related to water. What were their barriers? What were the things that excited them? How were they introduced to water? You know, who introduced them, and what types of activities did they value the most? And our results were actually not so much about hair, but people really caring about the ability to swim. People really caring about pollution as significant barriers for entry. And so many fond stories, memories of people going fishing along the sides of things with grandparents, people who are strongly engaged today. And so what we came away with was a very positive representation of how people are connecting to water. And importantly, it provided a window of opportunity and hopefulness of how we can build on that opportunity that people wanted or that they've had to connect even more with waterways beyond recreation, but also toward conservation. So one of the things that's been important to me in this work has really been about collaboration. And I think that this project, working together with the Georgia River Network, has really been a prime example, a wonderful example of how coming two types of organizations around a similar theme comes together to, expand their reach into different communities. I don't believe that any one of your organizations or my organization can do all the work. We really need each other. We really need to we need each other so that we not only are doing the work, but that we can better understand one another, understand our values, understand our challenges, understand our desires. I always think of, nature. We've got lots of technology, as you can see around us, but it's nature that is the ultimate open platform. Nature is the medium through which we can learn whatever lesson there is for us to learn. It's beyond learning about the environment, but it's the personal connection. It's the lessons that you need to learn in life about your strength, about your tenacity, about your resourcefulness. All can come from nature. And we know that there are so many communities out there, not just the African American community, but many communities who stand to benefit from all that nature offers. And so I invite you to strengthen tonight your partnerships with one another, strengthen your partnerships so that we can further the work. We have a lot to do and a lot of fun as well. I think it's so important to not forget the fun in all of this. So this is your invitation to connect with one another, to connect more people to nature. Start with your family, and just build on it from there. Doesn't have to be super adventurous. Start with walks. Start with campfires. Start with identifying birds and flowers, and build from there. So I just want to thank you all for